Member for Nedlands.
Thank you, Acting Speaker. It's great to follow the member for Kimberley, who actually has more sporting awards than I do. When I was participating in sport at school, you didn't even get the participation ribbons like they do now. So I don't even have that to show for my sporting participation. And I have to say, like I was the kid in my year group who was picked last, and you know, when I was left, the collective groan would go up. If this was a speech about study and choir and music and school band, I'd be able to talk for hours about my personal experience, but sport, not so much. I do believe I am in very good company in this place. I do have a family history, however, connected to sporting infrastructure. My great-grandfather, J.P. Stratton, was involved in the building of Gloucester Park, and he has a stand named after him there, yes, and he has a stand named after him at the Wacker. He was also on the very first committee that established the TAB, so the family joke is that my social work career is about redressing some of the social contribution that my great-grandfather made. But I think it's fair to say the trots isn't necessarily a participatory sport in that sense, so probably no surprise that that's my family history. I do, however, have great childhood memories of Dad playing cricket, and that we spent many of our Saturday nights at the local cricket club, where Chris Greenwood would play Father Christmas every Christmas, and we'd all line up at the cricket club Christmas party for our Christmas present and played on the oval in the dark and had all kinds of adventures. And I also remember going down to watch Dad achieve his one and only century in cricket as well. My sister was a state grade swimmer. I got the study prowess. She got the sporting prowess. And what I appreciated at that time was the really important role of volunteers in sport. They are, in fact, the sporting infrastructure for our community sports. It also gave my sister some amazing opportunities for travel. Some of her peers went on to swim in the Olympics, and it was an amazing experience for her. Mum and Dad's lounge room, our lounge room was often full of the fundraising chocolates. That's my other memory of sport. But in all the engagement that I've had in many of the sporting clubs in my electorate, what I do appreciate is that sport now is a much more inclusive space, and certainly I experienced it to be as a kid, and therefore encourages a lot more participation. So the seat of Nedlands is actually home to some of the oldest and some of the biggest sporting clubs in WA. Being between and across the river and the ocean, we have a great diversity of sporting clubs, and also being home to UWA, there are a great number of sporting clubs based at UWA. Of course, we're home to many playing fields, including Subiaco Oval, which was established in 1908 and was, of course, the home to WA football, the home ground to the Eagles and the Dockers until 2017. And I did have the good fortune to go and watch the last derby that was ever played at Subiaco Oval. And Subi Oval now has a really important place in my community. It is the playing grounds for Bob Hawke College, and is then open to the community for their use for play and recreation outside of school hours. And of course, before the Perth Stadium was built, Subiaco Oval was the largest stadium in Western Australia. So just going down the riverfront for a little while, the Nedlands Rugby Club, which plays at the Sir Charles Court Reserve, is 90 years old this year. It is the largest rugby club in Western Australia and continues to grow. It's got a current focus on growing its women's program, and is working towards having an all-abilities team that will play next year. They have won the Premier Grade Premiership flag for a record 18 18 times, and they have, they welcome players at all levels, from casual players to elite players, and are really focusing on growing homegrown talent. The Nedlands Yacht Club, which the Minister has been with me to visit, has been the recipient of a CSRFF grant to rebuild their change rooms in their training rooms. But the existing change rooms are again an example of the role of volunteers and community in a club. So the members of the club actually built the original change rooms. Like they're gorgeous in that way, but certainly some modern facilities are required, and I know that they're very busy starting to implement the plans that they have for that new club, which will actually again make training. They train and sail a lot of children and young people. Will make that club more accessible and available for people to participate in sporting on the beautiful Derbyl Year again.
How did they go with the end milestones of fresh at the end of last year?
They may well have done, yes.
100 years, sorry?
Yes, they're over 100 years old as well, yeah. The Nedlands Dinghy Club holds the honour of being the only on-water club that is entirely volunteer run. So the only yacht club, the only sailing club that doesn't employ any staff. They currently have the third generation Commodore, and again it's a club that really encourages children's participation. There's a great family atmosphere and a community atmosphere at the Dinghy Club. So that's just a handful of the number of clubs on the riverfront. If we go to the ocean, the Swanbourne Nedlands Surf Life Saving Club, which actually sits in the seat of Cottesloe, but it is the Surf Life Saving Club of choice for many in my electorate, and I know that choosing your Surf Life Saving Club is a choice that you make for life. Last year they won the Surf Life Saving WA 2023 Club of the Year at the awards, the Excellence Awards, and that was also in their 90th year of service. And last year they opened their new and improved club rooms, recognising the changing membership of their club, which is now 50% of their membership is female. They were the recipients of a $500,000 Lottery West grant, as well as local government, state government and federal funding to completely rebuild their women's change rooms. So they went from, I think it was 2 toilets and an open shower area to amazing state-of-the-art modern facilities that afford privacy, safety and accessibility, and the club continues to go from strength to strength. Nedlands is also home to 2 NPL football clubs, the round football women's clubs, the Subiaco Football Club and the UWA Football Club. Of course, we've seen a huge growth in participation of girls and women in soccer, building on the great success, of course, of the Matildas. So when the Tillies were here last year, it's the only time that my teenage daughter has asked to go to a sporting event. The Subiaco Football Club is 114 years old. My brother actually used to play there, and when I introduced myself at the Subiaco Football Club as the new member, the comment was that everybody who lives in Nedlands and Subiaco has some kind of connection with the club. We're also home to the Matthews Netball Centre, and any parent of a child who plays netball will be familiar with the Matthews Netball Centre, more than likely familiar with the adventure that is parking there on a Saturday. If you Google the Matthews Netball Centre, the first search option that comes up is parking. But they are home to the Perth Netball Association there located in Jollymont. 759 teams, 77 member clubs and 46 hard courts. And if you do drive past there, or if you can manage to drive past there on a Saturday morning, it is an absolute buzz and hive of netball activity. But as I started by saying, you know, I think it's sport since my experience of sport primarily at school has become a lot more inclusive and a lot more participatory, and that includes for the LGBTQIA plus community. And Nedlands is home to a number of pride groups, or pride sporting groups and pride activities. We're home to the Perth Frontrunners. They set off every Saturday morning from Kings Park or from Matilda Bay. Sometimes they get hundreds of people participating in their walks and runs. Again, a safe and inclusive space for the community to participate in activity. The Spectres Basketball Club, who train at Lords but are based at UWA and who are one of the organisers of the annual Pride Athletics Carnival, which is also run by Team Perth and the Perth Pythons Hockey. The Athletics Carnival is held during Pride Month in November, and it's held at UWA. And they asked me to go and open it, and it is again an important reflection on how important it is that that sport be inclusive and be accessible, and you know, it's the teams get dressed up in all the colours of the rainbow, funnily enough, and you know, there's some friendly competition, but the opportunity to participate in a safe way. And UWA themselves have a number of Pride in Sport ambassadors, as well as being home to a number of Pride groups. The other aspect, of course, of sport is around community, and I want to give a shout out again to the Friends of the Mount Claremont Playing Fields, who 18 months ago had a great win in this place by securing the zoning of the Mount Claremont Playing Fields to remain as being for sport and recreation. The Mount Claremont Playing Fields are used a lot by the community for activity and for casual engagement in sport. My mum has become a regular at the Hollywood Subiaco Bowling Club, where we delivered an election commitment of a new bowling green in early 2022. My mum doesn't bowl, she goes to play cards. So like many bowling clubs, the Hollywood Subiaco Bowling Club has really diversified their offer to the community. They have a community garden. They've converted one of their bowling greens into a croquet field. We have had a beer there, indeed, Minister, to go and check out the new bowling green. That's right. They are indeed a very welcoming club. They have live music every week. Mahjong, various other things, to become a really important part of the community that people from all age groups can participate in. And they've just installed a brand new playground as well to become a lot more family friendly. Now, at the beginning of the swimming season last year, and just in a demonstration of how much accessibility to sporting facilities means to the community, the Hollywood school pool, where I used to swim as a kid, was under threat of being closed down, and the school community and the local community really rallied around. The school pool has been open for some 50 years. They provide keys to school and community members, and there was threat of it being closed down. Worked very hard with the P&C, the principal and the Minister for Education to ensure that the pool could remain safely open and available for all of the community, and it took us a couple of weeks, but we got there and they had an amazing season. But as I say, it really brought home just how important that sporting infrastructure is to local communities, and how passionately they will fight to keep it. And I did just want to acknowledge one local, Leo McManus, who was recently awarded the Medal of the Order of Australia. I had worked with Leo. Yeah. You grew up with Lee. So he has been a member of Claremont Netties for 50 years, I think. Yeah. He's also a good friend of my dad through the Lions, so there you go. Leo McManus is probably one of those people that lots of families. Yeah, lots of. Well, there you go. We would have been playing on. My dad wasn't a member of that club. He was a member of the Dalkeith Nedlands Cricket Club. So we probably, yeah, we can have words outside. Yeah. So as I said, Leo was recently awarded the Medal of the Order of Australia. He is an amazing community volunteer. He has been involved with the Lions since 1985. That's how my dad knows Leo. He works with the St Vincent de Paul Society, distributing food and meals to people in need. And he is also the chair of the Lions Alzheimer's Research Fundraising Committee. Leo often holds meetings at the Dome Cafe, which is opposite my office, and I say to Leo, whenever I see you, you are engaged in some kind of community service, and his medal is very well deserved. It was largely, though, in recognition of his self-described efforts as a lifelong cricket tragic. He did indeed join the cricket club 50 years ago. He is a life member. He has held every leadership role in the club and is currently serving as the vice president. He did recently resign as a City of Nedlands councillor, and I thank Leo for his service to the ratepayers of the City of Nedlands, including myself. He represented my ward, and I know that he fought the good fight for us, and he will now have time to continue to make the amazing contribution that he has made to our local community. So, you know, I started by saying I'm not a particularly sporty person, but, you know, in preparing this speech, I do realise how much there is, you know, almost taken for granted of the sporting infrastructure in my community that is in actual fact community infrastructure. As I started by saying, you know, most of our community sport and therefore most of our professional and elite sport would not happen with volunteers, without volunteers. Many of those volunteers are, of course, parents. It is a great source of community connection. Many of the sporting clubs, you know, like the Hollywood Subiaco Bowling Club, become community hubs for people across the generations. And, you know, in that way and through this bill, you know, we can continue to build on the social, community and health benefits for sport. And so I'm happy to commend the bill to the House. Thank you.